Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. This is Trisha with Happy Home Designs, and I'm going to come to you this morning with what I hope will be a super quick craft, just something I thought of that I needed to do this morning. So I've got a new shelf in my living room that I really need to fill up with some goodies, and I don't have enough goodies on there right now. So I am going to try to create a couple of things over the next few days to fill up my shelf. Hang on just 1 second. I'm trying to get everything set up here. As you join me, if you will let me know that you're watching, that would be great. Just send me a message. Let me get on over here. Good morning. So what I'm going to do, I put in my post earlier, if you saw it, that I'm going to make a cute little picture holder, like a picture frame, but not a real frame. So a picture holder for my new shelf in the living room. Hang on, let me get myself pulled up here. There we go. Okay. Hey, Jeanette. So, what I'm going to do for my new shelf. Now my volume's turned up. Hang on, let me get myself pulled. Let me mute. Okay. Much better. Hey, Jeanette. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I was at Target Dollar Spot a couple of days ago. They had these cute little chalkboard frames, like on an easel, for $3. So I picked up a couple of these. I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I have an idea this morning. Hey, Angie, good morning. So I'm going to be using the Dollar Spot chalkboard. I also, this is the pack of craft paper I was telling you guys that I got at Hobby Lobby a couple of days ago. And it was 50% off. So they're normally $21.99. So $11 for this, and this has, it's 180 sheets, but you guys, it is so full of goodness. Basically, it's every one of these color schemes, and you get 6 sheets of paper in that color scheme. So you have green polka dots and green buffalo check and a green floral and a green Moroccan, I guess, and a green, that would be like a shiplap look, and a different green floral. And you get all of those in each color scheme. So I'm going to be using 1 sheet of this today. And I think I'm going to go, there's a gray family in here. So remember, you guys, as you jump on, let me know that you're here. So I'm going to be using 1 of these sheets. I think I'm going to use that Moroccan look. Here it is. Here's the gray family. And I think I'm going gray, this one. So that's going to be the background for my photo holder. This also looks like barnwood. Let me get this set aside. It's heavy. Put it up here. This paper actually also looks like barnwood. In the background, it looks like it's actual wood with a painting on top of it. So it's a little distressed. I like this look. It's clean, but yet it can kind of be farmhousey too at the same time. So I'll be using a sheet of that, my chalkboard. Hey, Mom. A photo that I pulled out of a frame of Jackson when he was 2, who is 7 now, almost 8. So I'm going to be using this picture. I'm going to make it where I can change it out. I have got my scrap fabric that I have used before. I've got some lace ribbon and also some gray fabric that I've used. Those are what I'm going to make my bow out of. Possibly this burlap. I'm not sure if I'm using this or not. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me lay this aside. I'm going to start with this frame. It's got a little white ribbon in the back that holds that leg out when you stand it up. I don't really care for the white ribbon. I'm going to use a piece of jute instead. I thought I could pop that off of there. And I'm also going to be painting the back of this, so removing this will make it a little bit easier. Just going to kind of pull out the staples. So that will go in my trash pile. Thank you, Angie, for sprinkling. Okay, so the back is just a light blonde wood, and that's going to show. And I don't really want it to be that light blonde wood, so I am going to paint it. And I'm going to paint it a gray. I think a gray. Let me grab a paint color here. That one's pretty much empty. This is granite gray. I think it'll match that paper okay. So I'm going to use that. I did not get my plate out to put my paint on. I'm going to pour some in a cup. Now, if I get the paint on the chalkboard surface, it really won't matter. You guys, is the lighting terrible right here? Thank you for sprinkling, Mom. It helps if your cup doesn't have a piece of trash in it. This is me, real life this morning, you guys. And of course, I'm to the bottom of this container of paint too. I was trying to do this really quick this morning and just think, okay, I could throw this together real fast and get here and make myself something. And, you know, I can do it by myself. I don't need Mark's help to get me set up. I can do everything all on my own. Well, then I come to the table and may not have everything I need. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to paint this wood. Has a little wood ledge down here. I'm going to paint all that, but if I get paint on the black chalkboard, it's fine because I'm going to be covering that up with the decoupage. So here's my gray paint. This will only take a few minutes, you guys. This is Apple Barrel Craft Paint. We know it dries super fast. Especially when you don't put it on really thick. So I'll get it all painted up. I just think this will be a cute little project to add to my shelf in the living room. Actually, I think it's 5 shelves and they're probably 5 feet long each on this bookshelf, and I need to fill it up and I don't have things to put on it. And of course, you know, I don't want to spend a lot of money, so I'm going to make my things. Hey, Patsy, thank you for sprinkling. So I'm going to make my items to go on this shelf so I can save some money, because that's always what I try to do. And this picture of Jackson is very old. It's super cute though. And actually, when you first glance at it, you wouldn't know that it's not his little brother Ryder sitting there. So I think that's cute. But I don't know that this picture will be what I leave on this stand, or if I'm going to put something else, but I'm going to start with that picture. I'm going to use that one just to create the item anyway, the project. Get these legs all painted. I'm not going to paint well, I don't know if I'll paint the entire thing or not. We'll see. I know from the sides you'll be able to see whether the back is done. When I do a project for somebody else, I always want the back to be finished, so I just need to finish it for myself too. I guess. So it is a cold, cold Saturday morning. Yesterday the wind was whipping so hard. I don't really know if it is this morning or not. Mark's outside cutting wood, getting ready for craft boxes to go out. When you have a home-based business, you work every day of the week. So he works his regular job Monday through Friday during the day, and then he works for me on the weekend, nights and weekends. Okay. For right now, just for the sake of time, you guys, I'm only going to paint the part that you're going to see. And then for myself, I will go back and finish the back later. So that's what it's looking like so far. That kind of looks blue, but it's actually gray. It was called Granite Gray. So for the top, I'm going to be using making a bow. I'm going to use that fabric to do it. But I don't know if this bow I want to keep on all the time, or if I just want it on for now and I might decide to change it out later. So I really don't want to glue it on. I'm going to use magnets to hold it on. So that'll be something a little bit different this morning too. Thank you, Angie, for letting me know, and Mom, that the lighting is okay. I like it better when somebody comes in and fixes my studio for me before I go live, but like I said, I was trying to do it all on my own and be a big girl this morning and not have to have Mark helping me. I pretty much depend on him for everything. I'm sure he gets tired of it. I know I've got my hand in my face. I can't help it. Okay. So that's all you guys can see of the actual leg. I will go back and finish it later, but I am going to touch up the edges of the actual chalkboard right now because I won't be able to fix that later as easily. And like I said, it doesn't matter if I get it on the board itself because I'm not going to be showing that part. It's going to be decoupaged over with that really pretty Moroccan style gray paper. I think it'll be cute. Hey, Deborah. Am I talking to you in your pocket this morning, Deborah? That's an inside joke. Deborah accidentally had her phone in her back pocket and heard my voice talking to her yesterday, where she accidentally turned her phone on and she couldn't figure out where the voice was coming from. Deborah's actually watching live. That was the cutest story, Deborah. I'm so glad you shared it. Okay, almost got this done. Like I said, this paint dries super fast. It's probably about dry on the bottom now. And it doesn't take much to cover, so it helps dry. Get some of that extra off there. Okay, so I have all of my edges painted. Now, I didn't paint that side of that leg. I'll go back and do that later because you guys aren't going to want to sit here and watch me paint everything. But I will fix that myself later on. Just get up some of this extra paint. Okay, put this aside. Let me dry it really fast. And remember, I'm going to cover up all of this mess on the edges. Good morning, Lisa. Deborah, I'm glad you want to listen to me again. I can't even tell. I still can't hear. So my own voice echoes back in my head, so I have no clue how loud I'm talking, if I'm yelling, what I sound like, and then I kind of get tongue-tied a little bit because if I'm talking and I hear myself late, it's almost like a second delay. Then I get all tongue-tied because it messes with my brain. But hopefully I will get that fixed soon. But it would scare me if I heard myself talking in another part of the room, but I didn't actually have words coming out of my mouth. That would be pretty scary. Okay, so let me get this dry really good. I see some extra paint I've got seeping out of that easel. When I picked these up, these easels, I got a couple of them at Dollar Tree. I really thought I was going to do a Valentine project with them, but I didn't know quite what. And this morning I was thinking I've really got to work on this bookshelf. I have people coming into the house this week for the first time, and I want the bookshelf to look finished, and I don't have enough stuff to put on it. So I thought, well, I'm going to use some of the items I've already got and make a few things. So this is one of them. Hey Shannon, good morning. And that's probably about dry enough, except right here on the front of that chalkboard. That's where I'm going to be decoupaging, so I need to make sure these edges that I got paint on are okay. Shannon, if you're just joining, I am making a photo display frame using a mini chalkboard. This is probably 7 inches tall, maybe 5 inches wide, probably a 5 by 7. I think that's probably pretty good. This is a 4 by 6 photo. So yeah, it's probably 5 by 7. Anyway, that's where the picture's gonna go. So I'm using this picture of Jackson, but it's from several years ago. All right, so here's what I have so far. There's my painted out easel. And I'm gonna decoupage this paper on, I guess this direction. So I think that gray will be good. I want this to be, well, I have grandsons and a granddaughter. I didn't want to use a floral just in case, you know, if I put a picture of the boys on here, I don't want it to be a floral design in the back. I want it to be something that it's okay for a boy picture. So, plus, I kind of like monochromatic things. I don't like a lot of variation in, I don't step out of the box a whole lot, I guess. So I want my design to be very simple, because that way you can match a whole bunch of stuff to it. I like whites and off-whites and grays and blues. Trying to get this Mod Podge out of here. Okay, I'm just using, this is a $1 container of Mod Podge from Dollar Tree, but it's the real Mod Podge brand. But it's clogged up on the top, so I can't use the squirter. Okay, I'm gonna put that on there, and you literally just liberally put your Mod Podge on. You wanna cover your entire surface. You don't want too much, because if you have an excess amount, then it may cause your paper to bubble up when you put it on. And we don't want bubbles. We don't want wrinkles. You guys, I told you that the love sign I created the other night would be hanging behind me the next time I went live. I had it hanging up, but unfortunately it was right directly behind my head, and I couldn't take that, so I didn't hang it in the right spot, so I took it down. But I will get my collage wall going, hopefully today. Okay, got enough Mod Podge on there. I made sure I covered the entire surface, so you can see the white glue. And because this is a square, I'm just going to, or a rectangle, line my paper up with that edge and lay it down. Now, I did not cut this to size because I don't think I need to. And I will show you why. So get it down, get the wrinkles out, and you just kind of rub it until it's good and smooth. Some papers tend to wrinkle a little faster or easier than other papers do. I don't really know why. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm going to mash down around the edges because I want to make sure that's really sealed. Hey Leah, good morning. I'm making a photo stand for snapshots. Okay, so paper's wrinkled a little bit. It does have a couple of little bubbles in it, but they will shrink down whenever the paper completely dries all the way through. All right, so I've just kind of mashed it around the edges, made little folds, creases around the edges, and now I'm going to take a sanding block, just a sanding block, and I will just sand right there on that crease. And this just cuts the paper. the exact size that you need it to be. And I didn't have to measure, and I didn't have to draw and all of that. This is easier to do when you're working with good straight lines, a square surface, or it literally just cuts the paper apart. And it distresses that edge just a little bit. And then the rest of my scrapbook paper is intact for another project. Now this is the side, there we go. This is the side that the paper was lined up on, but I'm gonna sand it too, just to make sure that it looks the same as far as the distressing. Looks pretty good. You guys, I'm telling you, Mod Podge is the easiest way to transform something from one style or look to another. I love it. You like this, Leah? Is this what you're talking about? I didn't realize how much was actually showing in the video. I hadn't paid attention. Yeah, I'm trying to organize my office the best I can. I'm not a super organized person when it comes to crafting. I'm a mess maker, actually. I tell my grandkids they're mess makers. They must get it from me. Honestly. So that's my part of my trying to be organized. Okay, just get up that little sanding mess. Throw it back there. Okay, so here's what I've got. My picture is actually going to go just like this. And all I'm going to use is a little, this is a metal, just a little metal clip. You can use a clothespin, whatever. I like the metal look. So I'm going to find where I want to glue this. It's going to be right in the middle. And I want it to look like my picture is actually sitting on that ledge of the shelf. So I'm actually going to put my picture on the hook, line it where I want it to go, make sure it's in the middle. Use my hot glue gun. You can use E6000, but I know that I'll be careful with this when I'm taking it on and off, so I think the hot glue gun is fine. The E6000 is permanent, and that's great. I want this to be permanent, but at the same time, I'm making this for myself, so I'm just going to use the hot glue because I know I can be gentle with it. Okay. So that's where I want it to be. So for right now, I'm going to take the picture off, and I'm just going to hold it, undo the clip. Got my clip down. Now, I need to go back and fix this leg. Remember that leg actually had that piece of fabric that was holding it in place, but I'm going to do it with a piece of jute instead. It had a little ribbon on it. I'm going to cut my jute. Yeah, Shannon, I like how neutral the paper is too. I think it's really, really cute. And for anybody who didn't see in the beginning, that paper came from a scrapbook collection like this, where every color, so there's a light blue, magenta, black, green, gold, navy, gray, orange, pastel pink, and a darker green. Every one of those colors has got 6 variations of the paper. So you just pick out your color, and it's great. So if I wanted to, say I wanted to make 5 or 6 pieces, even if I were doing 5 or 6 frames like this, I actually could use all of the gray paper, but they would all have a different style. Out of this book, I could use the shiplap look, and this is the one I used. There's a gray floral. This is a different kind of floral, and then that's the buffalo check, and this is light polka dots. So I can mix and match, have all the frames to match, but not be exactly the same. Okay, I'm gonna get this string glued on so it will hold that leg in place. Also, for any of you that are just joining, I did not finish out the back of this with paint, so it's ugly on the back right now. And I'm going to go back and finish that. I just didn't do it while I was live. Thank you, Angie. Thanks, Melanie. I didn't know you were on here with us, Melanie. Let me see if I've missed. Okay, I've got that piece in place. Let me flip it over this way. Oh, I've already knocked off my thing because I laid it down. I said I was going to be gentle with that hook, and then I forgot that it was there. And knocked it off because I didn't let it dry good enough. Okay. Get this one down. I'll put the hook back on again. Patience is not one of my attributes for sure. I rush things, don't let them dry good, don't give them enough time, and then I mess them up. And you guys get to see it all live. Okay, so now I have got my jute in place so it will hold that leg and it won't let it fall apart. As long as I'm not too rough on it. Yeah, that glue's still warm. I didn't let it dry. Now I'm tearing my paper. So when you use hot glue, you do have to let the hot glue dry. When you use a high temp glue, it takes a minute. You got to be patient. Don't be like me. Be patient. Give it enough time to let it dry. Because it's hot, so it takes time for it to cool down. And I tend to rush things, especially when people are watching me. Okay, so now I just won't touch my hook. So here's what I've got. My picture will go here. And I just think it needs something else. I'm going to put a bow. But like I said, I have 4 grandsons and a granddaughter. So I don't know, the bows on a picture with the boys in it. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I want one on here. But I don't want it to be permanent. So here's what I'm going to do. I got these little magnets. This is 2 magnets. And I learned that they're strong. And they are strong enough that if I put one on the front and one on the back, it will hold. So there's my back magnet, and here's my front. So I'm going to make a bow. It's going to be a messy bow made out of fabric, not out of ribbon. And I'm going to glue the magnet to it and put it on. And that way, if I decide I don't want it on there for a certain picture, say, like one of the pictures of the boys, I can take the bow off. If I like the picture that I've got on there and I think it looks cute with a bow, then the bow can be on. So I'll just have the 2 magnets. So here's what I'm going to do. Lay this aside. All right. You guys know that I like to do things for the first time live. And that's what I'm going to do today. Just tearing off that selvage. You can't really use it that well. So this messy bow I'm going to make out of this, it's like a muslin fabric that I've used for some other projects. So I'm going to cut strips of this. Maybe 1/2-inch strips. I'm just going to get little clips made so I can tear it. I don't know how many I'm going to need. We'll see. And then I also have this gray fabric that matches that gray in color. It matches the gray on the photo there. Just tear strips. It's a messy bow, so it's got some strings that'll be hanging. And it kind of lets the fabric wrinkle a little bit. You guys, this is so satisfying to cut that and rip it like that. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe that can be used in an anger management class sometime. Shred fabric into pieces. Let me rip some more. And when I said a messy bow, this one's going to be messy. It's going to have a lot of extra strings I'll have to cut off probably or trim up. I have seen this done, but I've never done it myself. So we're going to see how it turns out. Okay, that may be enough of that. I'm not sure. You lay it to the side. And then this gray, it actually has a print to it, a design, just like a geometric gray and white design. So I think it will go fine with that gray paper. Let me get rid of the selvage on this too. Okay, we'll throw that part away. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Rip up several strips. And then we'll make us a giant messy bow. I'm also going to use this lace ribbon in there too. Okay. Start down here. I've got a couple of short pieces, but I can use them. That is very gratifying. That one tore kind of crooked. This may not tear as easy as that muslin. We'll see. That one tore crooked too. I don't know, you guys. I may not be able to use this. It's not tearing the right way. Let me try going this direction. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to not tear the fabric that way. You just have to go with the grain of the fabric. Get my little strip started. Tell me what's everybody up to today. Who has great weekend plans? So I don't have great weekend plans. I have some plans, but there's nothing outstanding other than celebrating a birthday for a very special 2-year-old. Well, when I say messy, this is going to be messy. Okay, almost got enough. That one does not want to tear. I'm going to be covered with threads here in a minute. Yeah, I know you're quarantined. I hate that. Yeah, that might have been what it was, Melanie, but once I turned it, it seemed to tear okay, but it is a hot mess. All of it's a hot mess. I mean, there's threads everywhere, so I'll be clipping for days, I think. All right, so I'm just going to pick up a few pieces at a time. I need them kind of the same length and cut them in half. I'm not really worried about it being perfect, because I'm going to trim it all here in a minute. Okay, you guys, this is one of those projects where you say you crafted something. This is true crafting. It's going to be messy. Get me some strips in order. I don't really know how many it's going to take. That's probably enough. Okay, let me do the cream color or the, whatever this is. Muslin. I'm not really sure if that's what this is. That's just what I'm calling it, okay? I think that's what it is. I am not a seamstress, though my mother is a very, very good seamstress. I did not inherit that. Oh, Angie. It's too cold. Yeah, Mark's outside working in the cold too. Well, he just came in. he just came in. He says it's too cold. He was wearing 2 pair of gloves. Did the gloves not help?
They help, but my fingers are still numb.
His fingers are still numb, but we bought 2 pair of gloves that he could layer the other day. I mean, he can cut in the garage. That's where half the tools are stored in the garage. He can cut in there, but at the same time, I mean, that's where all of my product, well, I don't have any products really right now, but where all of my good stuff is stored. So we really don't want sawdust everywhere, so he's wheeling. Good morning, Anna. He's wheeling all of the tools outside and doing the cuts and then blowing everything off, and bless his heart, it's rough. Rough. Okay, I thought I was going to use a little burlap. I don't think I'm going to. I think I will have enough with this mess I've got here. And now I'm going to cut some of these strips the same, or about the same length. Just to add a little different texture. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take them. I'm going to have to fight with all these threads. But I'm not necessarily making an X, but just crisscrossing them different directions. More of an X with a cross through it, I guess. And then I'll mix in the gray. Y'all, I told you this was messy. And like I said, remember, I've never done this before. We don't know if I'm doing it right. I'll put in a piece of the lace or 2. We don't know if I'm doing it wrong. There's so little in it, I threw it away.
It's half full.
Huh?
It's half full.
Oh, that's a full one? Okay. I didn't know I had that one. Oh, yeah, that was the Aleene's brand I threw away. Mark found some Mod Podge. I'm telling you, I've got craft supplies everywhere. So he must have found that out in the garage somewhere. Y'all see all these threads? I'm going to have to trim up all these threads when I'm done. Okay, throw in some more lace. So right now, I'm just making a big, giant, spider-looking mess. And hopefully, it's going to actually look like something when I'm done. But I want it to be really thick, really full. That's why I'm using all of this mess. Or most of this mess. Your big one, Anna, he is totally fine. He's chilling out somewhere right now. I asked him, did he want to come and help Nani craft and be live this morning since he wants to be a YouTuber, but he said no. And then I was trying to tell him that I have a YouTube channel, YouTube videos on YouTube. I guess it's called a channel. But it's just a few. And then we couldn't find it. Mark got them there, and then I couldn't find where they were at, so. Okay, so now I have a big pile of mess. You guys see that? I'll take a little piece of jute. And just like I do when I'm doing a ribbon messy bow, I'm just going to lay it across the top, flip it over, and tie it as tight as I possibly can. We're going to see how this goes. It may be a mess. We'll see. It gives a whole new meaning to the word messy bow. Okay. So, it's like a rag bow, really. It's a messy rag bow. I may not have enough fabric in it. That one I didn't even get tied in. Okay, so I'm going to bend it in half. Kind of fluff it together. Squeeze it like a flower. Look at all these threads. And then I'm going to cut everything off about the same length. Y'all,
Just so you know, you have to search with quotation marks to find
I have to search what?
with quotation marks around Happy Home Designs.
He's telling me how to find the YouTube page. You'll have to show Jackson. Y'all, I've got this so thick I can't even get the scissors through. Pull it out and do a section at a time. Even that's too thick. Hot mess. This would be a cool project to do with the kids because they love making messes. And this is a mess. My shears are even getting stuck on me. So tell me, do you guys like it when I do things that make a mess? When I don't know what I'm doing? It's always a learning process, and we all have to learn. Okay, trim up. Okay, let's see what I got now. It's way too big. I may scrap this and make something else. I should have thought about how big it was going to be. Because I cut them way too long. Okay, let me do this again. You guys bear with me. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do a section at a time. I'm wasting a whole lot of stuff because I didn't think about how wide this was going to be. But it's got the colors. Definitely. Just that gray, white, cream color. And we may get this done and we may all think, okay, this is crazy. This may be a one and done thing. Do it one time and never do it again. I don't know. It may be one of those where I learn from it and do it better next time. It's looking better. I've just wasted a whole lot of, now it's making my nose itch. Wasted a whole lot of fabric. But this could be stress relief. Still got some extra long pieces. Now I'm just going at it crazily. Okay, that's a really messy bow, you guys. We'll see how it looks when I get it on there. We may take it right back off. You know, it's kind of like you're giving your kid a haircut and you don't normally cut hair. And then before you know it, the child is bald. They have a bald bow. All right, that's what I've got. Let's see. Oh, it's pretty big. But it does match. We'll see. Okay, the only thing I have to do now, that's part of my problem. My jute's coming undone. Let me get a thinner piece of jute and retie this. If I can do it without losing the middle. Okay, you guys tell your friends that when you watch Trisha with Happy Home Designs, you never know what you're going to get. That sounds like Forrest Gump. hot mess. Mom, it is a hot mess. Angie, I will learn from it. You know, that's the thing. When you're making stuff, there's really no right or wrong. Just have a good time with something. If you don't like it, it's not, I mean, this was my scrap fabric. It's not like I went out and bought 2 yards of fabric, you know, at $5 a yard or $8 a yard or whatever, and then I've wasted it or ruined. This was my scrap. I've made multiple projects out of both types of the fabric. So it really doesn't matter. Where did I put my scissors? It really doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. And one thing is to figure out if you enjoyed it, figure out if you like it, learn from it, use it again, don't use it again. There it is. Okay, I'm going to use it. We're going to see. Okay, I've got my magnet. I know which two sides are attracted to each other. So in my brain, I always have to put, I'm going to go ahead and stick them together like this. So I know this is the magnet and this is the side that I need to glue my messy bow to. Okay? Here, let me get some of my pile of mess pushed away. All right, so this is the magnet I'm gluing to. I'm just going to leave it on the board. Put a big dab of glue. Grab the middle of my bow and stick it right on the magnet. Now remember, I've not glued anything permanently to this frame. So if I don't like it, remember, I'm just going to take the magnet off and do something else. Cut some of these extra threads that are hanging. Okay, so my magnet is stuck. And I drop it on there and it automatically reaches for the other magnet. And get my photo of my cute little Jackson. And I can also adjust wherever I want the magnet. I can put it way up high in the corner. There we go. So this may still be a little bit big. I'll probably work on it. But I do like it. Tell me what you guys think. Way too big? I mean, I can always keep giving it a haircut. As long as I try to be even with it. I like the idea of the bow. I kind of like the messiness of it because it doesn't scream girl bow. But at the same time, it's a little crazy. It's a little big. Next time I would make it probably half the size to start and then keep cutting it down. Embellish the middle. You know what, Hope? I can do that. And I actually have one of the half round beads that I had stained the other day. And I dropped it and couldn't find it. So embellish it like with a bead. Like that. Tell me if that's what you're talking about, Hope. I'm gonna keep trimming for a minute. I'm bound and determined. I like the bow. I just wasted about 3/4 of the fabric that I used. Because it needs to be tiny. Let me see. Okay, like that better. Yes, okay. Hope says embellish the middle, and I do have this bead, and I think that's a good idea. Plus, it will help cover up that jute right in the middle. If I keep cutting, I'm not going to have any left. Big dab of hot glue. Put my bead on there. It's definitely neutrals, which I like. You can put this in any room in your house, pretty much anybody's house, because it doesn't matter color-wise. Like that. Okay. The only thing is the bead may have made it, there we go. Better? All right, tell me to quit chopping the hair. Need to quit chopping the hair. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this for now, you guys. I may work on it some more. I don't know. Now it kind of looks like a flower, and I got my grandson's picture on there. But I still think it's a cute project. I can still just take this off. I can put a burlap bow right across the top. I can't get to my burlap right now. But I can still decorate this differently if I want to. Just a regular burlap bow right here at the top would be fine, even with the boy picture. But for right now, this is what we've got. So I hope I encouraged you guys to be creative. Think about what you need in your house and go and make something, okay? Hope you have a great day. Thank you for joining me this morning, and maybe I will be back live later on tonight. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.